From inside a cake. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, this is going to take a while. Run the titles, will you? It's 53. Oh, I'm exhausted now. Good morning. Welcome to the 146th swap shop, which coincidentally also happens to be the last one. And we've upset one or two people. Well, Victoria Davies has a tear in her eye. She's aged 7. I'm exhausted now. Victoria's at Oakdale, Welwyn Garden City, and she says, I cried when you said it was the last swap shop next week. I wish it could go on forever. Nice sentiments, Victoria. Thank you for the picture. The picture is an absolute delight. This is a picture of the swap shop team. And when you look at that, maybe it's not such a bad idea. We are packing up. I think it's all down to the health farm. Now, this is the sort of attitude I do like. Robert Franklin of Woodland Drive, Bromham, I think it is, in Bedfordshire. And Robert is obviously a very well-balanced young man. He says, I feel very sorry about your swap shop programme finishing. Never mind, I've enjoyed it very much. Isn't that nice? There's a very well-balanced outlook on life. Thank you for that, Robert. Here's a rundown of some of the things we've got for you on the last swap shop, so you can plan your morning. Coming up in just over 10 minutes, Tom and Jerry time and an encounter with an Easter duckling. And there's a visit from those crazy characters, the Hair Bear Bunch, at 10:25. Before that, at 9:50, botanist David Bellamy will be here to take your calls.
Up on me high seater. Now, the capsules of the liverworts do the same job as those of the mosses, but they do it in a much more spectacular way. And I hope this one doesn't go off too soon.
And Swap Shop's cookery expert Delia Smith will be along to show us how to make something for a special occasion, like a 146th party, perhaps? Also, Penelope Keith, star of To the Manor Born, will be here to chat and take your calls, so give her a ring on 01811 8055. And there's lots of music. There's a visit from B.A. Robertson.
Climbing up a mountain, and you could climb inside a Neverland. Then I could reach up the mountain to find you hanging from a special branch. Ooh, send it for me, just let me know that you really do adore me, and I'll be battling up through the snow. I'll be your St. Bernard's brandy, put me to your lips.
That's B.A. Robertson. We've got a packed programme today. We've got an awful lot going on, so we'll keep moving along. Big thank yous to everybody who's been sending things to us. Do you realise that over the 6 years that Swap Shop has been on the air, we've received over 4 million items in the post. Now, of course, we've also sent out a lot of prizes to people in competitions, but even people who sent in the correct entries didn't always receive a prize, because it was always the luck of the draw in our lucky dips. What we've decided to do on the 146th, bring them in, is have one giant lucky dip. We'll be putting into that. That can...
It's doing all the work.
Get a move on, get it going. We're putting all the mail into a lucky dip, and throughout today's programme, we will be awarding various Swap Shop goodies and prizes to people, and we'll be dipping into that as we go along. What are you doing, Craven?
Still got one left in them.
Go and get some more. There's some more in the car park,
Right,
John.
sir.
But don't you two move, because you've got to do the first lucky dip. See this? The observant people amongst you will have noticed I'm wearing 2 watches. This one's a little bit heavier and doesn't go very well with the gold chain, but this actually is the prize that we are going to give away in the first lucky dip. Now, if I press this properly, can you... You see, we're very seasonal. What are we doing with jingle bells just before Easter? Well, there we go. That's the watch, which will be going where? Do you want to have a delve and a dip?
Does one keep the time in Aylesbury and the other one keep the time here?
Well, what you won't have noticed, last week we had 2 clocks on the wall
Right.
because of the time in Bruges being different. And the British time was catching up.
I know,
with
yeah,
Bruges
it's
time.
about 10 minutes out.
Yeah, the whole time I keep moving it back. It was catching up. So maybe this Christmas thing is rather appropriate.
Right, well, Matthew Norton of Hornchurch in Essex has won it.
Well done. OK, Matthew, you've got yourself a watch that plays all sorts of tunes. As I said, we've got an awful lot to get through. We'll come back to the Lucky Dip in a while. Here to get you in a nice poppy mood, here's the J. Giles Band. Ooh, I bet it took them a long time to clean up after that. Let's take the first phone call on the 146th Swap Shop. Catherine, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Whereabouts are you calling from?
Richmond.
Richmond? Oh, that's not very far away. What can I do for you, Catherine?
I'd like to make a swap, please.
You'd like to make a swap, right. Oh, actually, just hang on a minute. I've got a letter here which is rather interesting because it's about swapping. Stand by for a second, Catherine. Rachel Page wrote to me from Sketty in Swansea and says, look at this. I'm writing to complain about the way you write on your licorice all sort. You always write it diagonally, like I am now, so will you please write properly? All right, well, I'll try and do it for Catherine. I'll try and write it the correct way. It's because it's not easy to rest your wrist when you write in such a peculiar fashion as I do. Now, what are you offering, Catherine?
I'm offering a pair of size 4 ice skates.
Size 4 ice skates.
With blade guards.
With blade guards. Jolly. Oh, guards. Is that U-A-R-D or A-U-R-D? U-A-R. Oh, guards. We've got to be correct at the end of the series. Right, blade guard. What would you hope to have?
I'd like a world atlas, please.
You like a world atlas?
Yes, please.
Why?
To help me with my geography.
Oh, was this geography at school?
Yes.
Ah. If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you like to go?
America.
Why?
Because of Disneyland.
Because you like to get to Disney. That's a very good reason. Catherine, your swap will be up on the board later on. Thanks for
Thank you
taking
very
part. Bye.
Bye.
And there's, I presume it's Lino, not Lino.
Hello?
Hello. How do you pronounce your name?
Lino.
It is Lino.
Yeah.
Good morning, Lino. What can I do for you?
I'd like to ask you, what's been your funniest moment over the past 6 years?
The funniest moment? I think I have to say that the thing that made me laugh most, in the sense that I almost couldn't continue with the programme, was Billy Connolly reading the top 10 board. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did actually.
That I thought was fun. Did you find it amusing?
Oh, I was laughing, yeah.
He really had us all in stitches here. It was very funny indeed. We do have funny things go on that you don't sort of notice. I mean, although it's a very open programme, and we've always showed you cameras and things, we have had problems. I remember in one of the early programmes we had a floor manager called Peter Fitton, who everybody here will know, and he was a bit late with a cue that he had to give me, to tell me when to start talking. He ran the length of the studio and promptly fell over a cable. and he's a sort of fairly round fellow, and he sort of carried on through the studio. It was very funny, actually. I mean, not funny for the viewer, but it was very funny for us here. That's about it, really. Oh, do you remember when a glass ball dropped from the ceiling?
Yeah, that was my funniest moment, actually.
You thought that was very funny?
Yeah.
Could have killed me. No, but it was funny afterwards, actually, because Keith was sitting just there, and this ball landed just bouncing off my head, and he fell about laughing. He thought it was the funniest thing in the world.
It ended a lot earlier.
Well, that's it. Thank you very much, Lino, for calling.
All right, thanks a lot.
Nice to have you on the programme. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I've got Warren Barton on my little machine. Hello, Warren.
Hello?
Good morning. What can I do for you?
I'd like to make a swap, please.
You're a swapper as well, right? You get a clean piece of paper on the licorice pad.
Yeah,
Right, what are you offering?
I would like, Sky Electric set, 300.
Is that what you're offering, or...?
Yes, that's what I'm offering.
That's what you're offering, a Scale Electric. 400, yes.
300.
Sorry?
300.
Yes, I've got that now, 300.
And I would, Mini and 2 BMWs.
Sorry?
2 Minis and a BMW.
2 women and a BMW?
Mini!
Can anyone help me with this? Oh, I see, these are little cars. 2 minis and a BMW on your Scale Electric. Lovely.
And I would like anything to do with snooker.
Anything to do with snooker?
Yes.
Did you watch last week's programme when we had Steve on?
No, I missed it. I was out.
Oh, dear, look, how many times have we told you a lot goes on in this programme? You can't go out. What did you go and do?
I just went out. I went out with my brother.
What did you do?
We just went out to see me boat at Westminster.
Oh, and you missed the snooker. Oh, well, it's your loss. It was very funny, actually. It was good fun. Warren, that'll be on the board later. Thanks for the call.
Okay, bye.
Bye. A couple of quick letters. You might remember last week that I mentioned the fact that John Craven had come in with me and showed me a shortcut into the studio. We were nearly late. This prompted this letter, which has got a picture supposedly of me in bed at about 9:15, still waiting for John Craven to come round and collect me. It comes... oh, it doesn't come from anybody. There's no name on it. Well, if you recognise that, then thank you very much for sending it in. Incidentally, this morning, John was meant to bring me in, and at the last moment, for a reason which will be revealed in just a second, at the last moment, I decided I'd come in by myself, in my own car. And John arrived in front of me and walked in the studio and said to Rosemary Gill, the editor, "Is Noel here?" And she nearly passed out because she thought I was coming with him. They just sort of... just telling you some of the family problems we have on the programme. Brendan Riley is in Glasgow, and you can probably tell from Brendan's letter that he's rather keen on Bert. He says, "Can you please get Bert on the last show, and can I have Tom and Jerry?" Well, Brendan, Tom and Jerry will be around in a little while. Do you remember Bert's Posh Paws? Yes. I'm able to say this to Posh Paws because he hates the lamb, incidentally. Little teaser for something... little teaser for something else that's coming on later on. Anyway, you don't like the lamb, do you? No. But you like Bert because he only came for 1 week. Right, well, here's a little bit of a refresher on the subject of Bert. There we go, Bert. He's had a lot of fan mail. "Please, would you teach your kitten Bert a few manners," says Andrew Murray of Macclesfield. "At the end of last week's show, he yawned and he didn't put his paw in front of his mouth." Yes, he's getting it together now. Got something for you, Bert. Right, Bert, are we ready? See, this is the Bert test, right? Coming now. No, he doesn't really look that interested, does he? Bert? Jolly good. Ah, good, that's got rid of Bert. And now... Well, here is an older Bert. And he's just as difficult to hold on. Oh, come on, look, I gave you a very good breakfast. Now, just stay there, Bert. Now, as you can tell, Bert has grown up from being an attractive, beautiful little black kitten into being a pretty average black moggy. And he doesn't do very much. He's doing the Open University course on arc welding. But apart from that, he's
looking for the ping pong.
he's doing really what he was doing on the first programme. All right, Bert? There we go. Posh Paws, Bert's behind you. Yes, jolly good. Anyway, for all Bert fans, I brought Bert along. Yeah, there he goes. Bye-bye, Bert. And hello, Claire. Claire McGinley is in W Ward at Aldermay Hospital in Liverpool. Stand by, Claire. We've got Tom and Jerry coming for you. Also for 6-year-old Benji, who's in Battersea. Morning, Benji. In Newcastle, Emlyn Dufford in Wales, there's Hugh Thomas. He's age 7 and he wants Tom and Jerry. He's getting as many as possible here. Cheryl Badger, who's in York at Moor Monkton. Tom and Jerry. And Tony Wilson, Willenhall in the West Midlands, wants Tom and Jerry. Natalie Cook, who's in St John's Lane, Hartley in Kent. I used to live near Hartley. And Philippa Kincaid, who's at Princess Road, Douglas, Isle of Man. And Michael Mellin at Camden Street, Nelson in Lancashire. They all want Tom and Jerry. Bert wants Tom and Jerry. Bert's come back. No, Bert's going again. Fine. Never work with animals and Keith Chegwin. Here's Tom and Jerry. Here's Tom and Jerry with an Easter feeling. And we'll be having the Hair Bear Bunch for all you cartoon fans in a while. Caroline Weaver's going to get one of our Swap Shop goodie bags. She's at Parkinson Walk, Bury St Edmunds. Sent me a very nice best wishes for the future card, which she made for herself. The Swap Shop goodie bags I shall be passing on to people who come through on the phone to talk to David Bellamy or to talk to Penelope Keith. They have all sorts of things in them. You can have your own Swap Shop mug. This bag's got a Swap Shop mug in it, complete with coffee. The coffee will be sent to everybody. It really has got... You can't see, look. Come on, up! Up! What am I bothering doing this for? Look, there, look! That was a waste of time, wasn't it? Look, you get a hat and you get a survival blanket. No, it's a balloon. It's one of those balloons you can... And there's also a Swap Shop sticker, and there's a book, and there's a copy of the Brown Sauce record, so that'll teach you. that'll learn you for winning it. Good morning, David. What is the fascination about the T-shirt? I mean, what is the point of the T-shirt?
I was meant to be down in sunny Clacton tendering, starting a great survey of the coast along there with all the children. They're going to split the coast up into, not physically, but each school is going to take one bit and do a survey. Plant, birds, visitors and everything.
Right.
I was meant to be starting it this morning, but I couldn't miss the 146th birthday party, could I? So I put it off till the afternoon.
Splendid.
So all you waiting, I'll be down at Clacton not too long.
That's good. Well, thanks for coming. coming along. You've also got your tree badge on.
Well, you know, thank you very much for having me on Swap Shop so much this year. The trees, they're
all right,
planting
keep
trees
the
all
checks
over.
coming.
Look at that. I planted 150 trees last week, right in the middle of Newcastle. And the Jongalolo people, 420 schools are now, I hope, busy writing backwards and forwards to Zambia. Now, it took a little longer than I hoped it was going to get it off the ground because, you know, getting all the letters backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
But they're there now, and YIPTs, Young People's Trust for Endangered Species, is doing it all. And next week, we are... All those lovely pictures we had from the children in Zambia are going to be on show in the middle of Piccadilly. So all the Londoners belting up and down Piccadilly will be able to see the pictures you saw here on Swap Shop.
Oh.
Fabulous.
Do you ever stop?
Well, no. When I stop, I fall over, you see.
I mean that quite seriously because you get involved in so many things. I mean, you must actually not be able to do everything you get invited to do.
I have turned down 1,902 things for the next 12 months. Actually, letters which you come to and say, will I do things?
Yeah.
And I do apologise for all those people. There just aren't that many evenings in the year.
Right.
But no, there's all sorts of fascinating things going on. And, you know, they're all conservational. That's the exciting thing.
Well, they're all and very, very worthwhile things. But how do you link them to your professional commitments? I mean, there can't be enough hours in the day.
Well, you know, one sort of packs them in the winter because come next week I'm off to the States filming for the good old BBC for 16 glorious weeks for Bellamy's America. So then I really don't do anything until I get back sometime in September, and then off it goes again for the winter. I say this goes up and down.
Yes, it does. Don't break it, please, even though it is the last one. What are you going to be doing in America, or can't you reveal?
Oh, well, you know, it's the plants of America, and we're going to start in Alaska and go, you know where the Aleutian Islands are, that fun little chain of islands? We're going to start right on the end of that atoll, where you can just look over and almost peep into Russia, because they're only 60 miles away there.
Yeah.
And then come all the way along the Aleutian, down the west coast, into sunny California, bursting round the bottom of the Rockies, and up across Mesoamerica, up towards, oh, you know, you know how big America is. Well, we're going to try and travel it in, it is about 16 weeks filming in all, and look at the plants and how the plants have moulded the people's lives. First of all, the Paleo-Indians who came there, then, of course, the Indians, and now our lives, because the whole world looks to America for its daily bread and its daily pasta and its daily tomato ketchup and all sorts of things. You know, so it's all about plants. What else could I talk about?
Splendid. Well, it sounds delightful. Don't forget to give us a call on 018 118 055 and put your own questions to David Bellamy. You're going to be around most of the morning before you shoot off to Clacton. It's good to see you again. Good to see you in such fine style. Now, we've had an awful lot of people writing over the last couple of months wanting to know about this desk. So, see, we're around to the final programme. It's worth pointing out the very expensive way that I get in and out of this desk. We've had suggestions of helicopters. We've had suggestions that there's a trap door down here, and that there's special electronic bits that move, and until now nobody's seen me get in or out of the desk. And well, the reason that I'm going through an awful lot of trousers at the moment is that what I have to do is actually climb over the thing. That's the way it's done, and you knew all along, didn't you? Hello!
Oh, you're very agile, aren't you?
6 years. You were on the first programme.
Yes.
You're on the last programme. It's great
Yes.
to see you again, Delia. How much do you remember about the first programme?
Well, the very first programme I came was the pilot programme, the one that we made, you know, as a practice run-through. And,
Which was a total disaster.
well, I've got a lot to thank Swap Shop for, because when I came to the pilot, they recorded the piece of cooking, because I'd never done live television before.
Yeah.
And I was scared to cook live on telly. But your lovely producer said to me, oh, come on, Delia, it doesn't matter, you've got to have a go sometime. So on the first programme was my first live television, and it doesn't worry me now at all.
Lovely. Well, I only have one very faint memory of that first programme. It was the injury that Delia did to me.
I paralysed your mouth.
Give you an idea just how far ahead we were thinking with different ideas when this programme started all that time ago. You did the cooking and it came straight out of the oven, didn't it?
Right.
And it didn't occur to me that I was actually going to have to taste it. And various people were going, go on, have a bit, have a bit. And you said, have a bit. And I burnt my mouth because it was so hot. I couldn't talk. Because the blisters are just going down.
Yes, I mean, hot cheese is hotter than anything else that's hot.
That's what it was, wasn't it?
Went purple,
Yes.
if I remember.
Yeah, well, one of the many funny things that's happened. Now, as I said at the beginning of the programme, you're going to give us some advice about a few things for a special occasion.
Yes, well, this is a very British recipe today. It's kipper pate.
With or without a fly?
Oh, my goodness.
We've got a fly in here.
Good. Let's got rid of him.
Oh, now I'll get complaints from the Fly Preservation Society.
Yes. Yes, you will.
Right, we've got the news coming up in just a moment, but very, very quickly, just tell us what
Well,
you're going to do.
I'm going to make some kipper pâté.
Yeah.
And we're going to spread it on little biscuits so that we can hand it round and everybody can have a little bite. Nice, cool bite, not a hot one this time.
Lovely.
And the ingredients are very simple. You start off with a packet of frozen kipper fillets,
Yeah.
sort of boil in the bag things. And you just boil them up according to the instructions, and then you let them cool and you take the skin off, and then you mash them up there,
Like
in
that.
that bowl there, and then we'll put the other ingredients in after the news.
Right, OK, we'll do that in a second. It's 10 o'clock. Here's John with an up-to-date news summary.
Hello, the American Space Shuttle Columbia looks set to complete its 7-day mission despite problems with its communications systems. It's due to land in the White Sands Desert of New Mexico on Monday. Scientists at Mission Control were afraid the flight would have to be cut short. Newsround's space editor, Reg Turnell, has been following the shuttle's third mission from Cape Canaveral, and he's on the line now. Hello, Reg. Reg? Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, you are there, good. Reg, there seems to be lots of good news and lots of bad news about this particular mission. What's the latest information?
Well, the latest is that Fullerton and Lousmer are asleep on about their 76 orbit. It was all a terrible muddle yesterday. 1 minute they were talking about having to land immediately because of trouble with the communications. Then they were talking about having to save up food and water in case of dust storms on the desert landing strip, so they could wait up there an extra 2 or 3 days while the dust storm settled down. Now they're talking about coming down on time again.
But what's the problem with the communication system? Does that mean that they'll have to think about changing the landing?
Well, they've decided they can manage. One communication system's broken down altogether. Another one has partly failed. But they've still got enough ability, they think, to communicate with the crew and the experiments sufficiently. Funnily enough, they've never told the crew about all these troubles at all. They've let them get on with their work.
And Reg, what's the general feeling at Mission Control? Has the shuttle got a real future now?
Oh, yes. In spite of all the troubles, and even the toilet went wrong again, they've done a tremendous lot of work, mostly with that robot arm, and they've done their biggest job, proving that the shuttle can place spacecraft in orbit and then go back years later and either repair them or bring them back again.
Reg, thank you very much indeed, and you'll be reporting on Newsround on Monday, hopefully on the successful return of the shuttle.
Yes, and incidentally, after all the troubles they've had with Columbia, I'm told NASA would be glad to swap it for something really reliable that always works, perhaps Noel Edmonds.
Noel Edmonds in space, what a thought. Thank you very much, Reg. Bye. Well, plans have been announced for the first Rubik Cube World Championship. It's to be held in Hungary, the home of the puzzles inventor, in June. National champions from 30 countries have been invited to compete in the contest for the fastest time to finish the cube. And finally, Oxford are favourites to win the annual boat race on the Thames in London this afternoon for the 7th year running. Their opponents, Cambridge, are said to have a less experienced crew. The early morning fog has cleared, and weathermen say the weather is perfect for the race. In fact, it's going to be a lovely weekend all over the country. Now back to Noel and Delia.
Thank you, John. Now, how far have we got? We've got an idea about
We've mashed up the kipper fillets, 6 ounces,
Yeah.
and you can carry on mashing and I'll add the rest.
Oh, do you remember when we were making a walnut cake or something? And,
Yes, I do.
And I turned the old electric mixer
I
on too
do.
fast.
3 ounces of...
Yeah, everybody got a bit. It was amazing.
3 ounces of butter. You note because of that I'm now much more cautious and I bring a fork with me. I don't
Yeah.
bring the electric mixer.
It's a big horrible job, isn't it?
Okay then, 6 ounces of kipper fillets, 3 ounces of butter. You just mash all this together. There's no method. You just... And this is a quarter of an onion grated.
I mean, there's no method. I thought I was doing this with considerable style.
No, you just bash everything together until it's evenly combined.
Yeah.
Then the juice of half a lemon.
Oh, I
in
like
that
lemons. I like lemons.
And then a little bit of spice, a pinch of cayenne. Does that look like a pinch?
It looks like a bucketful to me. Right.
A pinch of cayenne pepper, and then some freshly grated nutmeg. And
I've got a big dob in one corner of this. I'm not doing this very well. It makes your wrist ache.
no, you're doing beautifully. I'll put some nutmeg in. Freshly grated nutmeg, about an eighth of a nutmeg grated. Then you can do a bit of tasting and find out if if you need any more, and a tablespoon of chopped parsley. Here we are, already chopped and in the tablespoon.
I'm rather unfit.
Right, now all you do is you just mash and mash like mad. That's the method, mash like mad, until everything is beautifully combined.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
sorry about that.
if you're going to,
We did wash our hands before we started this.
and we wash the tablecloth.
And we washed the fly.
Right, I think you're doing pretty well there. Now, the next thing you do is you think you're okay now? You're all right.
Yeah, it
You're
makes
right.
your wrist ache, that's all.
Then you just spread it on some nice little biscuits like this.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody's got a sort of bite-sized delicacy to eat. You can decorate
would
it.
you recommend that is that a double bite, or is that just a...
Well, depends, really. You know, you have to think about size.
I see that very much as a...
Yes, I think you're right. I think you're right. But somebody more genteel might take a little bite out of it, you see.
And then it's all over your lap.
That's right. That's right. There we are. We decorate it with a little bit of olive, or if you like, you can put a little bit of parsley like that on it, and then just put them on a plate and hand them round to everybody. And that's a very British, very... no one in the world, you know, can make kippers other than the British. No one.
Finger.
Oh, sorry.
The finger should be crooked as well when passing around the little items.
So that's our kipper pate recipe. It is easy.
Yes. Well, it seemed very simple. It seemed even I could do it.
Yes.
Quick run through the bits and pieces again.
Right. Well, we've got 6 ounces of kipper fillets, frozen kipper fillets, and then we've got half a small onion finely chopped, 1 level tablespoon of chopped parsley, 3 ounces of butter or margarine if you want to cut the cost a little bit, half a lemon squeezed, freshly grated nutmeg, cayenne pepper, and a bit of salt if you think it needs it.
Right. And me to do the stirring.
Yes.
Thanks, Steele. You're staying around all morning, aren't
I
you?
am,
So we'll see you
yes.
a little bit later on. Here's B.A. Robertson now, and the first of a number of special recordings that he's made for the Swappy.
Other men when I'm on the road far away. I wonder does she go out to play? Hello, it's paranoia, my friend. Is she playing hide and go seek? The lover is a blind man to bluff. He's coming on so strong and so tough. With every long-haired hippie he meets. Ready or not, I'm coming. Into the night, I'm turning. Just look at the miles I'm burning. You better believe I'm coming home. Ready or not, he's coming. Strange the way she sounds out of breath every time she answers the phone. I wonder is she there all alone? It's really not unusual, I guess. I thought I heard a voice in the room. She said it's just a show on TV, a movie she had wanted to see. She hopes that she'll be seeing me soon. Ready or not, I'm coming. Into the night, I'm turning. Just look at the miles I'm burning. You better believe I'm coming home. I'm a night out the road to the bite of the king of the hill. We're laughing and joking and wondering where she up is still. Ready or not, I'm coming. Into the night, I'm turning. Just look at the miles I'm burning. You better believe I'm coming home. Ready or not, I'm coming home. Ready
Well, that actually was a complete fabrication, because he drives like a maniac. He'll be around. Well, yes,
Could you just move a bit closer together? Because, see, I don't think you count as a mountain. I think you count as two people. That's it. Right.
Cheese. Cheers. Oh, can I do that?
Ah! Always wanted to do that.
Right? He
I'll
did
take
that to
one
me
from
once.
behind, Mr. Watt.
Oh, all right. OK. Good, jolly good.
Great.
That camera is a prize, which is now going to whom? Quick dip, 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 dip. And you can have a picture of Keith's bottom.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Well, the
I
thing
only
is...
need
there's-
one.
Yes, I know, but they haven't put their address on or anything.
Oh, well, pick one that does. It's nice of Andy Pandy to let you out today, by the way. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist it.
There's no address on that one either.
Oh, get in the bin and find one, for goodness sake.
Go on, you can do it.
Go on, there must be one in there.
Got one. It goes to Christopher...
She looks like Andy Pandy now.
I'll get back in my basket. It goes to Christopher Fletcher of Wolf Road in Sheffield.
Jolly good. What a lovely little playpen. Thanks, Mags. And we'll be back having a dip in there later on. Now, there's some very naughty laughter going on here. Now, some facts and figures. On the 146th Swap Shop, let's have a little bit of a think back over the last 6 years, and let me test you and see what you can come up with.
Go on,
Chegwin.
that's it.
Now,
This is the mastermind bit,
how
isn't it?
many letters and cards, approximately, would you think that we've had in 6 years?
Oh, 3 million-ish, say.
Well, you're not far off. We estimate it's 3,950,000, so it's only just below the 4 million.
It's cost me a fortune.
Yes. Once again, on behalf of the Post Office, thank you for sending them in. How many guests would you reckon we've had on all the programmes?
Oh, hundreds, I'd say.
Yeah, well, it's hundreds. We have had 450 different guests. 450, that's quite a lot, isn't it?
It's quite busy.
Now, how many calls do you reckon we've actually taken on the air, ignoring, I mean, the fact that they're
Right.
now taking calls the whole time, but how many have we handled on the air?
Oh, 3,000?
Well, this surprised me, actually. 5,850 calls in the history of Swap Shop.
Gosh.
If Swap Shop had transmitted continuously, how long do you think it would have taken? What's your mathematics like?
Forever?
Well, it's 25,404 minutes, or day and night, 12 days would have been going.
We've been up all night doing that.
17 days, yes. How many times did lucky numbers go right?
Very rarely.
Well, I don't believe that. Somebody's estimated 7 out of 10. There's no way. I only remember it going right once. Now, here's one right up your street. How many Swaparamas, roadshows or Euro swaps have we had?
121, I know that one.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, then
It's all right.
would you know your mileage? How many miles have you travelled on your outside broadcast
Yes,
travel?
it's worn and torn on my car as well. It's 39,016, I think it was.
He said that as if he hadn't been practising.
No, I had.
Right, Keith has travelled with the Roadshow and the Swaparamas 39,016 miles. Just a few facts and statistics about Swap Shop over the years. And we've received so many requests as we got to the end of this series to have a look at an early Swap Shop. Now, I'm not going to laugh at what Keith looks like if he promises not to laugh at what I look. Is that a deal?
I promise.
You and me?
Go on then.
Right, OK. We can take you back. We haven't got the first programme, unfortunately, but we can take you back to the Swaparama on the second programme in the series, 6 years ago. I wonder where Keith is this week. Hello!
Come on, boy. Oh, he's not going, is he? Oh, good morning.
Morning!
How are you?
I'm very well.
Oh, well, you're probably wondering what I'm doing sitting on this donkey.
No, not at all.
Oh, well, his name isn't Don Carosi. Don Carosi?
Oh.
No, his name's Red Rum. Mind you, he's got his winter coat on at the moment. No, seriously, this is my friend Silver. Hello, Silver.
I like his bells.
Oh, so do I. Oh, what's this here? Hey? Oh, he says he doesn't know. I've lost my ass. He said, but he's got another one here. Pardon? Oh, he says he/or. He says he or his friends usually work here on the beach during the course of the summer because this morning our Swaparama comes to you from the illuminating town of Blackpool. And this morning I'm going to be swapping here on Blackpool Beach, just by the North Pier. And if you want to join me, you're more than welcome to.
That was on the 5th of November 1977, that.
Isn't that amazing?
Bonfire night. Somebody should have lit me.
Well, I want to point out, actually, the donkey was the one with the saddle.
Yes. You looked as though you had a ferret on your head.
Isn't that incredible?
That is amazing. I've got a swap.
Right, what's your swap?
Yes. Well, I've played one of these before, actually, a bigger version of it. And when I go around the country, it's nice to take in hotels. It's called a Pac-Man Space Invader game. I don't know whether you can actually see this. I'll switch it on. Press skill 1. What it is, there's 4 little cars chase you around a little course. Shall I hold that up? It's very difficult to see with the lights. But it's lovely. You make your way around the course, and there's little dots in there, and you eat them up on the way around. I love those sort of games, don't you?
Yes, how about that? We're dimming the lights. Keep
Oh,
playing.
go on then, I'll keep playing. There we go.
Jolly good. Well,
Lovely. Shall I pose a question?
we need a question.
Good
from you.
idea. Well, Maggie and I have done 3 Euro swaps since the series started, and what I want to know is the 3 countries that we've been to, and also the names of the places. So give us the 3 places we've been to, and also the names of the countries. Send us a postcard to the usual address, Swap Shop, BBC Television, London, W12 8QT. There's the address. And if you're wondering how you're going to know whether you've won it or not, well, John has agreed to actually put it on his back page in a few weeks' time, so keep a lookout for the Radio Times on John Craden's back page.
Jolly good.
Jolly good.
Okay, I've got a swap coming up later. I'm really looking forward to being able to offer my own swap. That's in a little bit, and of course we'll be going to our lucky dip in a while. We've also got Penny Keith dropping in this morning. We've got loads of surprises and a few more giggles at our own expense. But now, here's David Bellamy. He's got a worm.
And there's a worm at the bottom of my garden. And his name is Lumbricus terrestris. Now, everyone knows what a worm looks like, but how much do you actually know about them? Take, for instance, the fact that those segments mark out separate compartments inside the worm, and each compartment contains a whole complex of muscles, nerves and organs and things. Why, inside each one there's a pair of primitive kidneys called nephridia. In fact, it's the only animal I know that can do a wee, 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 wee. Now, not all the segments are the same. In fact, that isn't where the worm's been chopped in after it's grown a new bit. That is the clitellum, very important when it comes to reproduction and egg laying. And I'm not being rude by calling it an it, because it isn't it. Earthworms are hermaphrodite, which means they're both male and female. Sorry to be so personal. You know, it must be terrible to be put under the microscope like that. Oh?
You must have had an awful lot of fun making that programme, but was it very confusing working out all the overlays and things? Yeah, there's a camera working over there. Caught you out. He thought we were just having a little chat there. It's a reasonable question.
Yeah. You know what, it was mainly done in here. Like, half of that was CSO blue and half of that was CSO green, and I was dangled on a Kirby wire down the middle.
They're painful, those Kirby wires, aren't they?
They are. Yes, I'll show you my bruises.
Lovely. Should we have a swap just before we take some phone calls?
Well,
David?
I've got some super books. Here's one about British birds, and we have thousands of super bird watchers out there. But what I want you to do is look in the corner of that, the Royal Society of Nature Conservation badge. These are 2 books about the British countryside, published only yesterday, and there's a whole series of them coming out. And the, you know, the royalties are going to the Royal Society of Nature Conservation. And my question is, what is the junior branch of the Royal Society of Nature Conservation called?
Right, answers on a postcard to Swap Shop, BBC TV, London, W12 8QT, and you could get the splendid books. Presumably, this is what you're doing down in Clacton later? Or
well, no, Clacton. This is actually a study down, starting at Point Clear and going all the way through to Clacton, about 6 miles of beach, which is enormously used. I mean, all the good Londoners go zooming off down to Clacton on a bike. I bet they'll all be down there this afternoon, such a lovely day. And they are just trying to get more and more people sort of knowing the plants and animals that are there. So, you know, more people will say, no, we don't want a new marina there or something. You know, leave it for the birds to come through. So very, very exciting.
Splendid, jolly good. Pick up the telephone and let's have a word with Stephen. Hello, Stephen.
Hello.
Good morning to you. Through to David Bellamy.
Hello, David.
Hello.
Can I ask you if you've ever came across any poison snakes? snakes on your tour in the jungle?
Have I ever come across oh yes, quite a number actually. I remember once in Sierra Leone, and we were walking along. I was walking along with a pal of mine called Max Hooper. You may know him. He's the great expert on British hedgerows. And we were walking along, and suddenly I saw there was a green mamba going through the forest, just about his head height. He's slightly lower than me, so I walked faster, and the snake went faster, and then we slowed down again. But I kept Max Hooper between me and the snake, and I was all right. So was he, actually. No. Another time I was coming out of the University of Gauhati, that's in Assam. I'd been working there late one evening doing some research, and I came out, and there my wife was with me, and she said, "Careful," and I just stopped, and I'd almost put my feet on a king cobra, and it was absolutely beautiful because there was a big storm drain, like a great big sort of open drain about 6 feet round, and this snake was so frightened of me it shot off, and it was like a wall of death ride. It went round the edge of this drain without even touching the ground, and Bellamy went in the opposite direction, so did his wife. The trouble is that if you know that you're going to see a snake, then you can be ready for it, but you never actually do. So be very, very careful. Thank goodness we only have one poisonous snake in this country, and of course it's the adder, and it's an immensely common thing. In fact, I've probably seen more adders clarting about my peat bogs than I have in the tropics. I remember once actually sinking down in the peat bog and coming almost face to face with one. There was this adder sitting on its sphagnum hummock. Cause like me, they like sphagnum, and they sit curled up on the top of the sphagnum hummock. And it's that ant putting its tongue back with the ball down, and I was sort of on eye level with it. But you know, I
feel quite sorry for the snake, really.
I did actually. I put my tongue out too.
Thanks very much for the call, Stephen.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Natasha, hello.
Hello?
Good morning, Natasha.
Can I sit to David, please?
Hello.
Yes,
I'm here.
Hello, David.
Hi.
How do you increase and decrease on your insect programs?
Well, what you had to do, you had to have the right thing for breakfast, you see, and then you swell up or you don't. Now, have you ever looked through a pair of binoculars backwards, you see?
Yes.
Things get very, very little. Well, what you do is you turn the television camera lens round so as you look at that through the lens backwards, and then you put me at the other end of a gigantic studio, and there I appear very, very small. The problem is making the worms big, and you'll have to ask the worm, because I don't know how they do that.
There we go. I hope that's answered your question.
Can I have your autograph, please, David?
Certainly, love to, yeah. I'll do it straight after the show.
Jolly good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
We'll send off a goodie bag to her as well.
Oh, super.
And Lisa will be getting a goodie bag because she's made it through to ask David a question. Good morning, Lisa. Hello, Lisa.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello. What's your question for David?
David,
Yeah, hello.
when you were little, did you ever get told off bringing insects and snakes into the house?
Oh, I got told off for all sorts of things, yes. I mainly got told off. We had a bird's bath in our garden. It was about the size of the Lucky Dip over there, and I used to keep, frogs and things in it. And I used to try and take them to bed, and my mum used to get a bit cross when the frogs hopped out from underneath the bed. But thank goodness both my mum and dad rather liked those things too, but not snakes. I was never allowed to take snakes, and I wasn't allowed to take spiders into the house, because my dad was very frightened of spiders, because when he was a little boy, his dad was a tanner by trade, and there used to be the skins kept in the shed, and they used to be dusted down with French chalk. Now, the spiders used to come crawling out of here, and you had these whacking great white spiders, all sort of white and ghostly, covered with this French chalk. So I wasn't allowed to take spiders in. If I did, I really got clouted. That's why I've got such a funny-shaped ear, can you see?
Thanks very much for the call.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Another goodie bag going to Darren Adler, who's phoned us this morning. Good morning, Darren.
Hello,
Hi.
David.
Hello.
Where did you find the most interesting plant?
Oh, well, it must be, because I have spent 27 years of my life studying just one plant. It's called the bog moss sphagnum, and it's rather a miserable little moss, you see, but it does cover a large area of this earth, and it's that, when you see me squashing about and all the water comes squidging up my legs, well, I'm usually walking about on sphagnum then. And it is a very, very important plant because it makes most of the peat in the world. All the gardeners will know how important peat is in their garden. And very, very exciting, somebody has just started looking at this and finding it's very good for helping healing wounds. And it's interesting that in the past, people like Eskimos actually use it as a wound dressing. In fact, I once put an Eskimo baby to bed with a sphagnum nappy on. And, it went to sleep quite well, so I'm sure it does it a lot of good. So sphagnum is my most interesting plant. I find it all over the world, except in the tropics and in the deserts.
Thank you very much.
Fine. So, save on nappies. Sharon James. Hello, Sharon.
Hello.
Good morning. What's your question?
Hi, Sharon.
Oh,
Hello.
Have you ever been bitten by any animal or insect?
I was once bitten by a very large spider, and it was my own fault because I was walking. This was again in Sierra Leone, and I tell you, the spider hurt my knees. And I jumped up to collect an orchid. We were out there on a scientific expedition, and we were pressing all these plants and taking them back to go in the herbarium, funnily enough, at Kew Gardens. And I jumped up to collect this orchid, and it belonged to a very large bird-eating spider, and it didn't like me at all grabbing hold of its orchid, so it bit me. And this thing paralysed me down this side of my body, so I couldn't really use that leg at all or this arm. And I remember having to get in the stream and be dragged back down the stream to base camp. And I remember sort of feeling very woozy in this stream. And I got back to base camp and the poison had started to wear off. But that night I went to dinner with the local missionary, believe it or not. And right in the middle of the dinner, I started shaking like the clappers. And she said, "You've been bitten by a bush spider?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "No one's ever lived who's been bitten by one of those." And I said, "Well, you know, thank you very much." And I went home to bed feeling a bit shaky, but I was all right in the morning.
lovely story. Thanks for your call. Bye-bye.
And best of luck in the future now.
Oh, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Neil, good morning.
Hello, Noel.
Hello, Neil. Welcome to Swap Shop. What's your question?
Hello, David.
Hello, hello.
I'd like to ask you, what was your favourite subject at school?
Rugby football. I wasn't very good at school at very many things. I spoke English. We had a wonderful Welsh English master. It sounds funny, isn't it? But we used to call him Danny Dazzledome because he had rather a bald head. But he was absolutely fabulous. And he got me through O-level. I got a distinction in both. It was distinction in those days. In fact, it was a school certificate. I got distinction in both English language and English literature and failed all the rest the first time round. So English it must be, but I did enjoy playing rugby.
OK.
All right, thank you.
Thanks very much. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye. Right, I want to put you to a little bit of work now before we allow you to go off to Essex, because we want the swaps picked from last week. And just before we leap over there, Louise Bowers has written to me from Bicester in Oxfordshire, and she says, "As this is your last programme, please can my mum have one of your dustbins?" Our dustbin's got a big hole in the bottom. Right, Louise, we will send you a dustbin. Saying everything must go on this programme. Right, now, if we start off with this one here, we've got all the prizes laid out here on Steve Davis's snooker table. The top 10 question, first of all. Is that the top 10? It is. ABC are the first three letters of our alphabet. What are the first three letters of the Greek alphabet? Alpha, beta and gamma. Have a delve, please, David. Oh, it's got hippos.
Yeah, so I have to read it, don't I? Alpha, beta, three letters of the Greek alphabet. Oh, yes, right. Sheena Hasty or Hasty, Maccaquat Farm, Ballantrae, Girvan, Ayrshire, way up in Scotland.
You get 'em.
Oh, super.
Right, I'll have that one. Kevin Keegan's the next one, and he asks the question because he used to play for Hamburg in Germany. What's German for offside? It's im Abseits.
Now, Kevin Keegan's Pop Shop. Here we are. Miss Diana Bruce, 17 Chamberfield Road, Dunfermline in Fife.
Another Scottish
Goodness
one.
gracious,
Jolly
good.
good. Adamant, who was the blonde Miss World in the Ant Rap video? It was Marie Stabbins.
Let's get right to the bottom of this one. Goodness.
See if you can make it go to Scotland.
There we are. Yeah, Jennifer Goulbourne, 21 Abbott Drive, Bootle, Merseyside, L20 OAR.
Jolly
Not
good.
quite Scotland, is it?
No, and Steve asked the question, what is the size of a full-size snooker table? And the answer is 12 foot by 6 foot, and of course loads and loads of people sent in cards
Here we are.
for that.
And this one is Steve Davis, believe it or not. Oh, no, it didn't. He's Janice Hodgson.
I think you could do with a quiet day by the seaside.
Janice Hodgson, Egerton, Tanhouse, Skelmersdale, Lancashire. So he's all up north today.
Jolly good. Thank you very much for that, David. I'm going to ask you to do one more thing in just a moment, but I've just got to mention a couple of names here, especially for Karen Spence, the next part of the programme. She's at Craigie Hill, Larne, County Antrim, and everyone in Ward 14 at Greaves Hall Hospital in Southport. And somebody sent in a very nice multicoloured little letter here. It comes from Michelle Miller, and she says, could I have the Hair Bear bunch, please? Could you please say, run TK?
Run TK.
Oh, didn't he do it well? David, thank you very much for coming on the programme. Have fun down on the coast. Here comes for all cartoon fans, the Hair Bear. Well, there's the Hair Bear bunch. We've still got to come on the programme, Penelope Keith. If you'd like to give Penny a ring, it's 018118055. A few other surprises and some rather special features on this, the last swap shop. And, well, we had to have him, didn't we? Don't slouch.
Slouching on the last swappy.
One of the daily papers today was sort of claiming that it's virtually the B.A. Robertson show.
Yeah, well, last week was, in fact, the last swap shop, and this is the new Max swap shop. I have, in fact, got to deliver a little a sort of singing telegram.
What's wrong with your leg?
To the swappy. We sleek it, cruel and timorous swappy. Nae dirt, nae smut, and never sloppy. Every Saturday, where are you going? Oh, every Saturday at 9:30, 147 times. I couldn't get 146 to rhyme. With tea and toast and buttered scones. I'd sit there, the grandstand comes on. Saturdays just won't be the same. Oh, Swappy, will you no come back again? Hey, I guess that
reminded me of Dylan Thomas. Right, I want to put you to a little bit of work to start with, Brian, before we start slouching into general sort of chit-chat and whatever. We've had a letter here. It's a very interesting letter, and it comes from Peter Sinclair. Hello, Peter. Peter's at Rutherglen in Glasgow, so you see why I wanted to mention it. And he says, please will you show us Eric, because he deserves a lot of praise. Well, the problem here, Peter, is we can't show you Eric as such, because Eric has got to now lower in some lucky dip cards so that somebody can win these disco lights that we've got here.
Go on, Eric. Go on, Eric.
Right, thank you, Eric. Thank you. Lovely. Yes, that's it. BA to Delve. And somebody is going to win.
Here to Delve and gone tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Eric.
Oh,
what's
good.
that? Under the table? Yes, all right. Something under the table, he says.
Oh, I thought this was one, but Steve Davis had won a full-size snooker table, but I'm sure that's not
Oh, yes,
right.
I've got to mention that actually the card that I drew out... where are you? Oh, you're around there. The card I drew out was correct. 6'1.5" is the exact measurements of a snooker table in the width. So who's getting the disco lights?
It's a man called Gary, and I can't read the second bit because it's illegible, so it'll be extra prep for you in the handwriting department. He lives at 212 West Road, Fraserburgh, Aberdeenshire.
Fix.
I had a story about a man from Aberdeen yesterday who was in a Chinese restaurant, and at the end of the meal there was only the bones left from the dinner, and he said, "Excuse me, could I have that put in a doggy bag, please? And we'll take it home for the dog." And his son said, "No, we're getting a dog, Dad." Right. That's all the records in Aberdeenshire going. Billy Bremner told me that, and he comes from Aberdeen, so it's all right. Right.
Well, Eric has...
given us something wonderful.
Yes? Oh, it's Jill. What's this on the top there?
Jill Mance made this cake for Eric to give to Noel.
Oh, that seems like a very good deal.
Fragile. Please handle with care.
No, don't. No, wrong.
Right, wrong.
Oh, that's clever. Oh, yeah, put that down on the table. That's really... Oh, look at that.
It's beautiful. It's an Eric cake.
Look at that. Thank you very much indeed. Jill
Little round
Mance.
of applause, technical men, for the cake, please.
Yes.
Very sloppy on the last swappy.
Yes, well, they're just a little sad about the situation. They're crying most of the time. So what have you been doing other than appearing on every chat show and comedy programme? Going, I can't see you, no.
That's the best way to be.
What have you been doing?
Been making some records and travelling around a bit, phoning people up from America, which you
did on my radio programme.
Yes. And
we've already had the video, the new one, Ready or Not,
right,
which went down very well on Round Table, I hear.
Yeah, they felt that was probably the future of pop music encapsulated in 2.5 minutes.
Mm.
And I've always been very popular on the Round Table.
Truth of the matter.
Ever since, well, I'm King Arthur reincarnate, you know, and they don't appreciate that.
The truth of the matter is, of course, they completely panned it and said it was a load of rubbish.
Oh no, you're so cruel. you know.
I don't mean to be. I don't mean to be. So, come on, what other things have you been doing? Because you are a very busy man, aren't you? Not only
I've been writing the music for Maggie on BBC Two, and I did some incidental music this time. I thought it was quite important music, but they said it was incidental. And I've written a new theme tune for another television show for a different world other than the BBC, which Barbara Dixon is singing. And I've finished my album, and I'm going to be going back to America next month. I don't know what the Americans have deserved to keep on getting visitations from me. I can't think. I've gone a complete blank now.
But you've been working very hard with a couple of my colleagues.
Oh, thank you. A good prompt. Yes. Ah, you mean the Saucers?
Oh, is that what they're called?
Yes. Fine, talented. I think they're a sort of phoenix group born out of the ashes of a previous aggregation.
Well, just before we hear from the Saucers, this is the first opportunity you've had to publicly talk about Brown Sauce, which did make it to number 15 in the chart. What were the major problems that you encountered as a producer when you were recording Brown Sauce?
Time. Keeping time.
Oh.
Their quality of percussion really was the worst feature of the band, and we felt when we were talking about a career situation, we really had to look at what were the positive elements of the band. Keith's guitar playing, Maggie's voice, good looks, personality, and we just said, it's very tough in the pop business, and you really have to apply yourself. We had to cut away the dead wood completely, really get to the heart of the matter. So the drummer, the other co-author had to go, really, you know, just wasn't, there's no future in it.
What a load of rubbish. I was looking for a different musical direction.
Well, I think you've found it.
Well, here is Saucers, or Here They Are, Keith and Maggie, Saucers, and Spring Has Sprung, written by him.
Her mama said it, you know she made it perfectly clear. You stay away from boys this time of the year. They're pollinizing, the sap is rising up through the trees. My thoughts are turning love, the birds and the bees. You know that spring has sprung. Spring has just sprung. Spring has just sprung. Spring has just sprung tonight. You know that spring has sprung. Spring has just sprung. My bell's been rung. Spring has just sprung, alright. My thick Vestalina, I'll wash it clean and pack it away. Who needs a vest on a hot sunny day? My crinoline is white and frilly and it's perfectly starched. So say hello to May and goodbye to March. You know the spring is sprung. Spring has just sprung. Spring has just sprung. Spring has just sprung tonight. You know the spring is sprung. Spring has just sprung. My bell's been rung. Spring has just sprung, alright.
The wintry sun is melting snowflakes. Run like tears. Though spring is just a season, true love will last for years and years and years and years and years.
You know the spring has sprung. Spring has just sprung. Spring has just sprung. Spring has just sprung tonight. You know the spring has sprung. Spring has just sprung. My bell's been rung. Spring has just sprung, alright. You know the spring has sprung. Spring has just
it a little, Keith. I thought it was very good, but it wasn't that good.
Get off you!
Actually, unsolicited testimonial time. I was driving in to the studio this morning and listening to Tony Blackburn's show. I heard that come on, not having heard it before, and before I knew it was them, I thought it was very good, very catchy. Pullover. Scottish football team pullover, mental age of B.A. Robertson on back. He's wearing it because he's got something to do with the Scottish football team or Scotland?
We have a dream.
A nightmare.
It is a nightmare. I'm going home.
Right, I've got some awards here. Our own awards will be coming up over Easter, of course, the Swap Shop Awards, but Adrian Ward, who's in Poole in Dorset, has sent in these awards. This is to... Have a look at that. It's really good. He's put a lot of work into this. Thank you very much for them, Adrian. This is to certify Worst Singer and Joke Teller, 81-82, is Keith Chegwin. I think that's rather good. And how about this for a real creepy, crawly pig? Who's that? Oh, that's me. And top outside foreign reporter. I'm not too sure about that. I'm not quite sure what... Oh, I suppose it... Yeah, she does get around. She's talking double Dutch the whole time. Right, yes. Now, thank you for those, Adrian. That was a nice thought. A bit of work on it. I don't understand this name. It's Beeb Chef has written to me from Guernsey. And Beeb Chef says, how does the lamb get to the studio? Does it come on a lambretta? Thank you. Mark Gazalka. He's in Edinburgh. It's a very Scottish programme for the final one. Mark says, I watch and enjoy Swap Shop every morning. Apparently, nearly nothing makes me wonder a lot about your programme. Oh, except for one thing, and that is the lamb that appears smartly with his bow tie beside all the letters in your circle. And when I see him, I say to myself, which farm does he come from? Could you answer this? Well, Mark, if the lamb would like to press the button immediately in front... no, that is the lamb that is short of sight. There we go. We can see John Craven's news story.
In a farmyard barn somewhere in Britain, it's lamb time. For the most part, these cuddly creatures lead unremarkable lives amongst the straw or out in the fields. But every so often there comes along one that stands out from the flock. It was from humble beginnings like this that a star was born. But Lamb is being incredibly secretive about his meteoric rise to fame. In fact, he'll give no clue at all about how he got from the straw to the bright lights.
Some of us belong to the stars, up there is where you find me. If you wanna come for the ride, then form a queue behind me. Soon I'll be wallowing in all of life's riches. I'm gonna carve myself some crater like niches. You better go rehearse your rippy bourras. I belong to the stars. Some of us belong to the stars. There's followers and leaders. Some of us are born to be great, and some are born conceders. So I will go wherever winners assemble. Yes, from now on the world won't spin, it will tremble. I'll soon be passing round the Cuban cigars. I belong to the stars.
I'm sorry, last week we didn't talk about lamb names, but Lamb, of course, is here. You can come out now.
Since the stardust fell on him, Lamb has taken his fame very seriously. Every Saturday, he plays back the programme on his video machine to check his performance.
Come up here. You're all right, you're all right. He was over there.
And he can be sharply critical, both of himself and of his assistant.
Would you like to be called Chops? That was Gary Stoughton, who's in Orsett. No, that doesn't seem to have gone down well. Josephine McConville in Gateshead, and she thinks that he ought to be called Leon, because it's my name backwards. No, fine. I somehow didn't think Lamb would enjoy that one.
Like all superstars, he spends a lot of time catching up on his fan mail. The requests for photographs, the touching letters. He tries to reply to all of them personally. And of course, there are what are known in show business as the gigs. The personal appearances, the chance to meet his public. It's this kind of adulation that's led to what the newspapers have called lamb fever. But the fans get value for money from this superstar no one could ever say that they'd been fleeced. But despite his rise from rags to riches, from manger to megastar, Lamb still finds time to return to his humble beginnings. Sometimes the other lambs cold shoulder him. Maybe they feel sheepish because he made it and they didn't. But deep down, they all admire the lamb that gambled all and reached the stars.
I did all that, and may I say, not in a shy way. Oh no, not me. I did it my way.
Well, I think the Newsround crew ought to be well and truly pleased with that. A fine film, and the fame hasn't gone to your head, has it? Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to reveal the Lamb's mentor in the sense that you haven't done it all on your own, have you? That, in fact, a very famous impresario has had a hand in the Lamb's success. And if you'd just like, I don't know which camera can get it best of all. Oh, you're over there. Have a little look what goes on down here. Come on out, John. There we go, the secret of the lamb.
Yes.
Oh, look, lamb in the nude.
I must say, I've learned a lot about your kneecaps in the last few minutes.
And I've had to change my socks more often than...
Yes. And it's been terrible since he's been back on the farm.
Oh, well, and when did you have the idea?
Well, do you remember one day we had a few minutes to fill in?
It's all right, you can get off your knees.
Can I go? I'm so used to it now. And Lamb was just one of the soft toys that decorated the studio, and so I just popped him up, didn't I, like that?
Yes.
So you could talk to him. And then we had him adapted so that I could put my hand in.
Yes.
And wiggle his nose. And
that's how the lamb came about.
Yes.
Well, who was doing the actual photography there? Because I think we ought to credit somebody with that.
Dick Hill's cameraman.
It was Dick.
Yes.
It was very, very good. I thoroughly enjoyed that film. John, thank you very much indeed for that. That was a really good laugh and made me mum happy as the chauffeur. Now, this is Volvo. A number of people have been saying, what's been happening to Volvo? Are you all right? You're befuddled, aren't you? Poor little Volvo's a bit befuddled. She was a lot smaller than this the first time she came on, just before Christmas. But look at her. She's well. And so for all Volvo fans, there she is. And she's been trimmed a little bit because she's been getting a bit messy running around the place. And last time you were on, you did a little live telly poo-poo, didn't you? So I don't think we'll have any of that. Talking of John and his tremendous abilities and his ideas and his inspiration, here's a clip which many, many people have asked to see again. This was the remarkable likeness that our very own newsman has for a certain space traveller.
Give me Mr. Speck, Spotty.
This phone's not working.
You have to dial 01 if you're outside London. Spotty, you should know that.
Nice.
That is definitely the mystery planet Pericus.
Pericus is in all the charts.
Yes, I was suspect. Yeah, Captain work here. Don't worry.
Will you please come up to the bridge? Immediately, Speck. Ah, Mr. Speck, what kept you?
What seems to be the problem, Captain? Why this display of emotion?
The problem is...
We are heading out of control towards a previously unknown planet. And unless checked, the total destruction of our team is inevitable. And Grandstand will just have to start earlier. The result of the scene is inevitable chaos.
Okay, I think those ears have gone to his head.
What about you Doris?
He's just trying to browbeat us.
I think all that is left is for me to boldly go where no man has gone before.
Another secret about that was we kept cracking up on that last line where I had to say I was going to boldly go. Right, Mr. Spock.
A dramatic phase, that one.
Could we? Yes, yes. Well, you're quite a thespian at heart. A swap from you, John, on the last swap.
Right, well, I'm going to swap one of my jumpers. I'll swap this one, I think, because people were always asking about my jumpers. And just to...
Take it off.
Shall I?
Go on. Oh, he's got the old BBC shirt. Go on, do the line. Small check, yeah.
And all that.
That's one of the oldest jokes.
And just
of
in
the
case it goes to somebody who's not quite as tall as I am, we've shrunk it. And there's another one.
Oh, very good.
And a CB radio, because we did a news story about CB a while ago, remember?
Right.
And some books. Not my books, I'm afraid.
Oh.
Books about CB.
Right.
And they're all in one big prize. And the question is, you know, when I played Mr. Spock.
Dr. Spock.
Mr. Spock.
Yes, that was the film we didn't show.
Who was the actor who played Mr. Spock in Star Trek?
It's amazing. He gets the news right, really, isn't it?
The name of the actor who played Mr. Spock in Stardust.
Actually, this is another great secret. This is another great secret. We've let out the secret of the lamb, and now you've found out that John Craven can't get it together and he takes his pulleys off.
That's right. They hold me together.
Keeps your brain warm. Yes. Right, so we want to know the name of the actor who plays Mr. Spock in Star Trek. Why couldn't you have said that? Right, now, one of the little traditions that has always happened on this programme, about which you probably know nothing, is that when we leave the programme after each Saturday, we drive out to the television centre into Wood Lane, and he stops us. When we want to go home, you're there. What's your name?
Jason Bell.
Good morning, Jason. I don't mean to sound rude at all. You have become an institution. You are always outside the front gate of Television Centre. That's right, isn't it? But you're here now. When did your desire to collect autographs start?
About September 1980 I first started, but I had a few before then.
What produced a sudden burst, which means that come snow, rain, or whatever, you're always outside?
Well, I just started to do it.
And who did you have first of all?
First autograph I ever got was Queenie Watts. She used to be in Yes My Dear Romney Jones. She came and opened the bazaar at my school.
Yeah.
But, after that, just progressed. I write letters to people asking for autographs.
And so you not only collect them by writing for them, but you also go to places like the Television Centre. Which other places do you go to?
Well, I went to the BAFTA Awards the other week. I'd go to stage doors, London theatres, rehearsal rooms.
And how many have you got altogether?
932.
932, almost up to the magic 1,000. Tell me about some of them that you've got. You've got them in rather nice albums.
Sammy Davis.
Oh, you got Sammy Davis. Now, did you write for that one, or...?
Yes. Well, no, I met him and I asked him to send it to me.
And he did?
Yeah.
Do you find most people are reliable?
About half of them reply.
Do you always send a stamped addressed envelope?
No.
You don't? No. Oh, you wouldn't get one from me, then. Oh, you did? Oh, that shows I'm not that bad, then. There we go. Neil Armstrong, terrific. But you didn't get a chance to meet the man. That presumably was another postal one. So a lot of them are accompanied by photographs, and some of them are just written down.
Yeah.
Do you have one in particular which you prize more than any other?
Yeah, I've got Bing Crosby.
Bing Crosby, late Bing Crosby. Terrific. How did you get that one?
That was my mum's. She had it in her old autograph book.
So she passed it on to you. So how many more people? I mean, is there anyone in particular that you've always wanted? I wonder if the last swap shop could help you get somebody.
Well, I've always wanted Paul Newman's, but...
You've always wanted Paul Newman. Keith, knock off a Paul Newman, will you? He does a very good Robert Redford as well.
Yes, I did an incredible Noel Edmonds.
He signs all mine for me. How many of ours have you got? Because you're always catching us out there.
I don't know, I've got photos in different albums, one in there.
Just hold it over to number one. So you've got to get into the... You've been standing outside too long. You've got to get into the television mood. What are you hanging around for? Are you going to do a lucky dip?
Yeah, actually got some more prizes.
Right, well, I've got a present for Jason in a moment.
I want to know what Jason does with all the copies of our autographs, because I know for a fact
Yes, where do
you've
they
had at least 15 off me. I mean, do you sell them and they go at a good price, or...?
No, I've got the Swap Shop book signed, and I've got photos of you signed, and they'll go in different albums.
Have you got the new Swap Shop book?
Yeah. So
Oh, I thought so. I saw 2 copies of it, but I didn't know whether you had the other one. No.
What's your surname, Jason?
Belm.
It's what?
Belm.
Belm. Right. I thought it was
Okay.
Delve. Have a delve.
Yes, have a little delve while I tell everybody. It's a clock radio. One of those you plug in the mains and it wakes you up in the morning and it's got a radio.
Don't put my dog in
Tune
with the
into Lawrence.
letters.
It gives me a free hand.
Oh.
Yes. Who have you got there?
Anthony
Is that tempting fate putting her in there?
Yes, I think it is. It's the biggest litter tray she's ever seen.
Great. Well done. That goes to Anthony Alder of Howe Road in Gosport. Well done.
Great.
Jolly good. Jason, just come and sit down again because I'm going to give you a prezi on behalf of us all. Because the thing that I particularly admire about you, and I know I speak on behalf of everyone involved with Swap Shop, is you're always so polite and you're always out there. Your enthusiasm we'd like to reward by giving you the Swap Shop autograph book that we've collected over the last couple of seasons. In the past, we've given them away as part of competitions, but on the last Swap Shop, in there you will find the autographs of all the stars that have appeared on the recent Swap Shop.
Thank you very much.
Well, that might well push you nearer the 1,000 mark. Thanks again. And good to have him on the programme after seeing him outside so many times. With a bit of luck, he'll stay in here and I'll get a clean run through the gates today. Here's B.A. Robertson, and yet another one of those special numbers he recorded for the programme. Go on, Brian, get on with it again. B.A. Robertson and ... Have a look at this. This is a rather nice piece of work which will be rewarded by one of our goodie bags. It'll be going to Jane Carler and Andrew McMean, who are at Northumberland Street, Workington in Cumbria. And they sent that in and they said, we've enjoyed every episode, entered lots of competitions, tried to telephone without success, but this very individual series has been fantastic. Bye from us, it's been great. Well, thank you for that, and I shall reward you by sending one of our Swap Shop goodie bags off. Now, I think I've got somebody on the phone here. Hello, Russell.
Hello?
Hello, you sound like a stately home, Russell Hall. I bet everybody says that to you, do they?
Yeah.
And did I say it to you the first time you rang up on the programme?
And the second time.
And the second time. So is this third time for you?
Yes.
Well, I'm nothing if not consistent. Russell, you were on the very first programme of this series, weren't you?
Yes, I was the first caller for this series, yes.
Right. Well, in some respects, we should have probably had you as the last one on this programme, but we've still got lots of calls to come, particularly to Penelope Keith. But what can I do for you?
Well, really, Noel, I'd like to thank you on behalf of the millions of children and adults for the many hours of enjoyment that you've given over the last 6 years.
Thank you, Russell. That's very nice. That's very nice of you to say that. Well, on behalf of everybody here, thank you the other way. We've had an absolutely marvellous time. I think we're going to have a few lumps in our throat around about 12:15. We're into the last hour of the last swapping, but it's good to know that you do manage to get through on the phone. You're a living example of the fact that the phones aren't rigged. We've taken loads of calls over the years. It's nice to hear from you again, and apologies once again for the joke about your name. You'll be getting one of our goodie bags, Russell, for getting through today.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And now, it's inexplicable. It's ugly, and I don't know why he looks like that, but he's here again. It's Took. And Took's late, by the look of it. Christmas has got to take the weight off your legs.
I am the spirit of Christmas past, Governor.
Yes,
I
fine.
come among you in peace, Earthling.
Look at the state of you.
I come in through the studio gates like this, and they said, "Oh, you're sports view, aren't you?" What?
Hello.
Hello.
Well, it's good to welcome the secretary of the Barry Manilow fan club back to the studio.
Ah.
What's with the Christmas decorations?
Well, I don't know. It's somebody thought that as they, I didn't give them away at Christmas, and I probably should have when I was on.
Yes.
For people sending nice things in, that I should bring them in, and we could ask people to. We could have a lucky dip and
clear out our
Christmas parcels.
Not kidding you. Today everything goes. A delve in the lucky dip, then, please.
A
Barry.
delve in the lucky dip. I shall go delving.
If you would, please. And we'll be having some more of your points of view in a moment or two. There he goes. Incredible. He's using the hand on the end of his arm.
And I have an empty envelope.
It belongs to Mr. Paul Daniels. It's written on the back.
It isn't written on the back. It's not. Nothing is written. It's nothing written on it.
Oh.
That's my luck.
Oh. Sorry.
Snow.
Try again. We were going to have you doing that off of the top of a 70-foot
Here you are.
diving board.
Steve Davis competition.
Yes, we only want a name and address. We
Oh,
put
you
all the
do, I
mail we've
see.
received recently. Weren't you
Well-
watching the beginning of the show?
No, I was still in bed. Colin Roseman of Rosewan
dear.
of Fareham, Hampshire. Telephone 289-260-H12.
Right. She'll be getting your Christmas decoration.
She will. That's a giant-sized cracker. And a Christmas something else.
You're almost
I'll come
out
back
of
to you.
control today, aren't you? Do sit
Yes.
down.
Well, I do feel a bit sort of thingy.
Yes.
With this on.
Yes.
Could I take it off?
Yes, by all means. By all means.
That's better.
How's the correspondence been going?
Well, the correspondence, I've got thousands of letters from angry Barry Manilow fans.
Well, surprise, surprise.
Well, there's two schools of thought. One is that I should be boiled in oil, and the other is that merely I should have rancid trifle thrust in my letterbox.
Well, we opted for the oil. Could you bring the oil on?
OPEC shall hear of this. I had wonderful correspondence from Barry Manilow fans. None of them like me at all. They don't like you a lot.
Well,
because
I'm
you
only
have
an
me on.
accessory.
And true. I mean, the lady here from a very annoyed Barry Manilow fan from Walton-on-Thames calls me very unfair. She says, we're sick to death of people mocking his nose, music, etc. Why can't people leave him alone? He wouldn't be the Barry we know without his nose. It's quite true, he wouldn't. However, here's another one from Diane Caffey of Skelmersdale, Lancashire. And she's just over the teenage. She's 20, and she says that she's a true Barry Manilow fan, and says, all the skits you make about him don't bother me, and that's how it should be. And as for Rowan Atkinson, I thought he was great as usual. Remember, we had Rowan Atkinson doing a parody of Barry Manilow, or we showed a piece of Not the 9 O'Clock News where he did that 4 or 5 weeks ago. A lot of people thought that was very funny. Sheila Brownbill of Cannock says, Dear Swap Shop, I thought the clip of Rowan Atkinson doing an impression of Barry Manilow is very funny. I hate Barry Manilow. I'd rather have Adamant. Now she goes on. When Barry tells his jokes, why doesn't anybody laugh? Answers, please, on a postcard. I think it's a shame. Never mind, she says. I'll stick up for you. Well, thank you very much indeed, Sheila Brownbill of Cannock, Staffordshire. I appreciate that. The Nunfair to Barry Took Club has started, run by Martin Barber of Walsall, the West Midlands. Why do we have to suffer Barry Manilow, he says. I heard them say on the radio that Elvis Costello had done a record dedicated to him and Barbara Streisand, A Good Year for the Noses.
I'm not going to be drawn into this argument.
No, it's nothing to do with Noel. British Barry Manilow fan club member number 6028 from Bedwas, Kent. Kent. Oh, Dear Tookie, and it's crossed out and returned into Dear Mr. Took. It's a very letter. On watching yesterday's programme of Swap Shop, I can only ask one question. Why does Noel Edmonds keep having you back? Not only are you insensitive to Barry Manilow, but also to his millions of fans with your crude and pathetic remarks. This man brings hope into the hearts of so many people with his wonderful songs. You should feel very honoured that you share the same name as him. Less nasty remarks about him in future, please. And if you have nothing good to say about him, then in future, please say nothing at all.
I think it's a very good point.
I won't.
Very good point.
It is a very good point. I won't say anything about him, poor old you-know-hooter.
No, fine. So you've done it again. Never mind.
Lars, I like him. See, I like Barry Manilow. I think he's terrific.
Oh, well.
Now for some more jokes.
At least we haven't got another show to complain. Yeah,
no. I'd just write to the control of BBC One if I were you. However...
But don't mention me.
I won't. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. The new Tiz was. Stephen... Have I inadvertently said something
I told you it was a secret.
Oh, well, I won't. Bites, nails and contrition. Now, Stephen Jones, age 12, of Coven, Staffordshire, has sent some jokes, like, man, how long would a train be? Porter, 3 coaches and a engine. What do you get if you cross the Atlantic with the Titanic? Halfway. Here we go. They're getting it up in the corners of the studio now. Claire Williams, age 7, of Bicester. What can you see with your eyes shut? What do you mean, ah?
Ah, Bicester.
Ah, oh. Now that did get a lot. You can see why he's going to Tiswas, can't you? Claire Williams, age 7, of Bicester, Oxon. Oh. What can you see with your eyes shut? Answer, a joke, but not on this programme. In football, you have a referee. What do you have in bowls? A goldfish. Alexander Smith or Smythe of Shefford, Bedfordshire. Excellent handwriting. Dear Barry Took, how do you get paper babies? Marry an old bag. Here's one. Leanne Gower, aged 9.5, of Sutton Coldfield. Doctor, I keep thinking I'm a goat. Have you had this feeling long? Ever since I was a kid. Lamb liked it, didn't you, John? And a nice picture of me. Isn't that nice? Huh, Louise Woodward, of Cleethorpes.
These pauses get longer and longer.
Oh, shut up.
Sorry, I'll carry on.
I'm getting old.
Yes, right.
Yes, cowboy went into town wearing a paper hat, paper shirt, paper trousers, paper boots. The sheriff arrested him for rustling.
Oh, I've heard that one. That's
a
funny one.
Well, Noel Edmonds laughs, a miracle. Here's one from Simon Davis of Farmouth, Bolton, Lancashire. The lady goes into the shop and says, can I see some mirrors, please? The assistant says, hand mirrors. The lady says, no, ones you see your face in. And as this spot draws peacefully to its close, we have one from Gregor McIntyre, who comes from Albec, Cattell, Guernsey, the Channel Islands. 2 jokes. What did one Martian say to the other as they came near Earth? Answer, you'll like this place, it has atmosphere. I liked it. My favourite, how do you get 2 whales in a Mini? How do you get 2 whales in a Mini? Answer, along the M4 and across the Severn Bridge. Yes, we sang along together with that one. Well, that's all I've got time for, apparently.
Oh, jolly good, jolly good. Well, would you help me with a little joke?
Yes.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
You don't pronounce it spanned.
You don't pronounce it spanned who?
You pronounce it Spandau Ballet.
Oh! Would you like another joke?
Oh, that was the cue to run the pop music.
Oh,
what are they doing? That's Spandau Ballet. Now, I was talking to Jason earlier, who's the autograph collector, and we got good news for Jason, actually. Have you heard this good news? Because Jenny Horsell has phoned us, and Jenny works with Bucks Fizz, and Jenny's got a girlfriend in New York who is actually Paul Newman's secretary, and she said she will organise for Jason to get the one autograph he's always wanted, and that is the one of Paul Newman. So thank you very much indeed for phoning in, Jenny. That is much appreciated. And on the last swap shop, you see, we managed to actually do a fix-it there. Now, from Ladywood in Birmingham, Angela Edwards says, what's happened to Vincent van Gogh? He hasn't been on TV for a while. Well, if you saw a Radio Times that was out earlier in the year, you will know that Vincent is well. He's with us this morning on this special edition of the programme. Hello, Vince. I see you.
Matt?
He's got a handler with him.
Yes, lambs, goats, you know.
Yeah. Was that anything important?
Was
that the news?
A script.
Jolly good. Well, Vincent,
you're not supposed to eat
stop
that
it.
sort of thing.
Vincent, control yourself. Now, how about this? How about this for a real bit of history? I've actually found the very first letter. Vincent, wait, no, come over here, Vincent. I've actually found the very first letter that we ever had on Swap.
Is that it?
I was going to frame that and put that on my wall. Vince. Just before we have more letters from the people who thought that all I do is feed him on paper, I certainly don't. He has the most balanced diet. There we are, for all Vincent fans, the wonderful chap. OK, John, you can take him away.
Daffodils, do you think?
No, don't give him daffodils, for goodness sake. OK, could you bring the boa constrictor in next, please? Stop it. Now, how on earth do I get from a goat to saying good morning to Penelope Keith? What a terrible intro. Penny, good morning. Thanks so much.
Nice to see you.
Thanks for coming on the last programme.
I'm so pleased to have seen him. He's wonderful.
Isn't he marvellous?
Yes, he is lovely.
Step this way. We want you to do the top 10 board.
Yes.
You like to stand over there. You haven't done it before,
No,
have you?
I haven't.
Right, now we expect this in real dramatic thespian manner.
Okay.
Go.
I start.
Yes.
Number 1. Catherine Rosam offers a size 4, ice skates with blade guards, and wants a world atlas. All right? James Honeyfield offers Logic 5 electronic game and wants anything to do with West Bromwich Albion. Ian Cheney offers 2 walkie-talkies and wants Star Wars Destroyer set. Oh. Richard Lewis offers Merlin electronic game and wants any Atari cartridge.
Yes, easily, please.
Right. Darren Pullin offers...
Sounds like a transport cap.
offers Treasure of the Pharaohs game and wants a Queen tape.
Oh, wait for this
Or tape
one.
Queen. Now, Sasha Grimstitch...
That's very Audrey Forbes, isn't it?
It is a bit. I love it. I'm going to say it again. Sasha Grimstitch offers Galaxian Space Invader game but wants a calculator watch. And Warren Barton offers Skelestric 300 with 2 minis and a BMW and wants anything to do with snooker. Kelly Hatton offers a cuddly basil brush and wants anything. Samantha Leonard offers Tomahawk bike and wants Cindy clothes and furniture. And Stuart Spinks offers Stay Alive game and Human League and Gary Newman LPs and wants anything.
Beautifully done. Brilliantly done. You're going to be taking some phone calls in a moment, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Yes, jolly good. You'll be able to peruse the board at your leisure. Just very quickly, this is the way that you fill out your card. Ta-da! Go on, do it this week for the last time. You must know the form. Name, address, telephone number one side, what you're offering, and 1 to 10 the swaps on this side. And then over here, you've got the address, Swap Shop BBC TV, London W12 8QT. A top 10 competition coming in a minute or two, but peruse the board at your leisure.
Without saying goodbye. You went from here, from closer to near. Awake me. Gotta write a classic. Gotta write it in an attic. Babe, I'm an addict now. An addict for your love. You hold to the target. Blame Cupid. You think you're smart. Stupid. Shoot that poison arrow through my heart. Shoot that poison arrow.
Yours till the stars lose their glory. Yours till the birds fail to sing. Yours till the end of life's story.
There we have the top 10 board with the gumboot dancers at number 1. Over the years, we've had a number of people do it. We've had Jimmy Savile do it. We've had Dame Edna do it. Penelope Keith didn't do it. Keith Chegwin did it, and now Keith, Maggie, and John all want to do it.
The last time.
Go and stand in front of the top 10 board. That's it.
Right.
There we go. Just sort of block the shot.
Yes.
It's got to be on it.
Go on, it's your turn.
It's got to walk up
Yeah,
and
it's
down.
got to go up and down.
It's got to go up and down.
All right, we'll go into number 5 then.
Go to number 5.
Right.
Number 5.
Right.
It comes above 6. Right.
Now what happens is this: you walk in front of the board, and Tony shouts, "Get out the way!"
Lovely, you see. I get the impression that we all to get very silly by the end of this. Here's the top 10 competition for this week. A wrist helicopter. Quite. You put this on your wrist like a watch, and then you pull this little thing. It's beautifully designed to take your eyes out. No, actually, it's quite good fun. It goes whee and shoots around. So that's part of the top 10. We've also got a very gaudy coloured football. We have, of course, the top 10 records, all neatly done up in a very posh bit of ribbon. We've got that record you heard earlier, Spring is Sprung. There we are, Lurch and Maggie. Look at that. Isn't that amazing?
I mean, look like a mummy.
You can nearly see the bolt in his neck.
It's like coming out of the month.
Somebody in the BBC photographic department doesn't like you. And also we've got this, which I've now completely forgotten what it is. Oh, it's Bill Wyman. Yes, of course, that's the new Bill Wyman LP. So that's all part of the top 10. What I want to know, at number 3 in the charts, we've got Derek and the Dominoes and Layla. Who is Derek? Answers on a postcard, please, for the top 10 competition swap shop. BBC TV, London W12, 8QT, and the answers will be coming up on John Craven's back page in the Radio Times in weeks to come. Little smile. Cheese. Lovely. Very good. Hasn't got a film in it, I've no doubt. Melanie Begley's at Turnpike Drive, Luton, Bedfordshire, says, please, could you tell me, on your last programme, where was the swapper armour on the first programme?
Oh, we went to Cardiff Arms Rugby Ground.
Did you?
Yes, I always remember that day.
Do you remember the pilot programme where you were in the Blue Peter Garden?
The problem was, Noel didn't know who I was. Do
hadn't
you
met
remember
him.
the first time I met you? And I went up to your car, and you turned around and said, have you got any paper then?
I thought he'd come for an autograph. Yeah. That's true, it really is true. And then from Colchester in Essex, there's Jane Harding. And Jane says, please, Noel, can you tell me, which is the moment that you've dreaded most through all the 6 years doing Swap Shop? Guess?
Cardiff Arms Park.
Or meeting you, no.
No.
Come on, you must know. The thing
The worst thing...
Doing lucky numbers.
Yeah,
Lucky numbers.
totally.
It has to be lucky numbers. Samantha Sutton, aged 8. She's in Norwich in Norfolk. She says, your favourite star. Who was the person that you liked most of all? Well, I really don't know, Samantha. I don't think I can really say. We've had so many different people on, and when you consider that if you go back over the 6 years, we had big stars like David Soul and Telly Savalas, and right all the way through to a former Prime Minister on this series. Edward Heath was on the programme. But I think for a good laugh, Billy Connolly was the one. He was amazing.
smashing
Any
guy.
favourites you can think of? It's
Rick,
difficult.
Rick Wakeman, I really enjoyed
Oh, because you
talking
had
to
him on a
yeah,
swapper
that's our
armour, didn't you?
broadcast.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to meet Phil Collins, but he could never make it, could he? But Genesis.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I know who Phil Collins is. I was
Just
wondering if you were going to tell us why he
joking.
couldn't make it.
Leo Sayer was nice. I was also
Leo
impressed by how
Sayer.
friendly Leo Sayer
Yeah.
was.
I remember with great fondness Barry Sheen coming on the programme, because Barry came on and drove me to Battersea Heliport, actually during one of the programmes, and we were yakking away so much on the motorbike that the BBC car that was sent behind us just in case the bike broke down got there 10 minutes before us. It was amazing. Right, now, what is it? It says pâté. It smells like kipper pâté time. Well, I've given away the secret. I'll get out the desk. Kipper pate time. How's it going? It's
well,
all right?
I don't know. I don't know whether people are in kippery mood this morning, but not many people have been eating my kipper pate.
Well, let's find something expendable to taste it. Keith! Keith, we got a bit of tasting that needs to be done on the kipper pate.
Oh, jolly good.
We thought you didn't seem to have a lot in your diary for the summer, so if you'd like to just try one, would you?
Can we have marks out of 10, please?
Marks out of 10. Gosh, I hate this. No, not this. I'm judging it.
Right.
Oh, yeah, Mum.
Yes, all right. I'll have one. Would you like one, Penny?
Gosh, that's lovely.
We were deliberating
fly.
earlier, and you could probably tell me to the manner born and whatever. Is this a 3-biter, a 2-biter, or a bit of a punch? Oh, you've got a little hair there. Look.
No, it's a bone. It's a nice kipper bone.
Are you sure?
They're edible.
Yes, very good for the roughage. I just a 1-biter, don't you think? Because otherwise, if it's a 2-biter, it's going to spill all over you.
Yes.
It's a 1-biter, and you hope that no one asks you a question when you've done the 1 bite. Promise?
Right, yes. One for a beer. Help.
Oh, it's delicious.
It's okay, is it?
It's wonderful.
Well, very nice, isn't it? Igor, do you want one? Come on, Delia, behind you. One?
Oh, one!
One, Igor.
Oh, thank you very much, Igor. Can we have the plate back? Yes, we're not going to give any secrets away as to who Igor is. Can you organise some coffee or something?
Certainly. What would you like?
Could you organise some coffee deal for
sugar?
us?
Milk, no sugar.
Milk, no
They
sugar.
were very nice, Delia. Thank you very much indeed. Yes. Pen, thank you very much for coming on the last programme. It's nice to see you again.
I'd be very honoured.
What are you working on at the moment?
I'm in the theatre at the moment. I'm in a play called Hobson's Choice at the Haymarket, but we're running in repertoire with another play, so it means I get the occasional week off, and this is one of my weeks off.
So, do you find it difficult, working so hard and doing television programmes and also doing stage things, and you've been doing films and whatever? I mean, do you find it very difficult?
Well, it needs a lot of energy. A lot of energy.
So, what do you do? What do you do to get all the energy?
Well, what I do when I'm in the theatre, I try not to go out, certainly before 2 shows, before a matinee, on a Tuesday night or a Friday night. I try to take it very easy and go straight home and go to bed and conserve the energy for the 2 shows the following day. I suppose if you've been at it as long as I have, you get used to the fact that I try not to do too much during the day. I do my gardening and housework and things in the morning and try to have an easy afternoon before I go into the theatre in the evening.
Does it destroy your social life, though? You can't do much in the evenings, can you?
Yes, it does. But what is lovely is that your friends come to see you in the theatre and come round and say hello afterwards. That's nice. But one does tend to go into purder a bit because Sundays are so rare.
Yes.
There's only one a week. And
You've noticed.
also, yes. So when you're in the theatre, I just tend to lock myself away with my husband in the house.
And how often do you sort of wake up in a day and think to yourself, oh, I really don't feel like going all the way up to the theatre, and you go in your dressing room and you're maybe not feeling quite like it?
Oh, that happens. The longer a run goes on, that happens more and more, funnily enough. But the extraordinary thing is, especially with a play like Hobson's Choice, which is such a good play, it's got a marvellous life of its own.
Right.
But once you get on, it's lovely.
Do you ad lib at all? You don't throw any extra little bits in?
No. When you're doing a play, you see, the whole thing about acting on the stage is you're doing it with other people. I mean, if you were doing a one-man show, that's different. But as you're doing it with other people, they're dependent on you and you're dependent on them.
Right.
And it's quite enough to keep a whole play going with the
So
words
you
that are
don't play
written
little
out.
tricks on each other and try and catch each other out?
No.
Grab the yellow phone. We've got Melanie Coffer on the line. Hello, Melanie.
Hello.
Hello to you. You're through to Penelope Keith.
Hello, Penelope.
Hello, Melanie. Nice to talk to you.
I'd like to ask you, were you the comedian of your class when you were at school?
Yes, I think I was a bit. I know I talked a lot. Whenever people were told off for talking, the teacher would come in and say who was talking, and my hand would go up almost automatically because I knew it was going to be me. So I think I was early on, yes. What about you? Are you the comedian of your class then?
Well, one of them.
Ah, how many have you got in your class?
Well, there's me and my best friend at school, Samantha Marsh, and she's a bit of one as well.
Oh, I see. So you're the comedy duo, are you?
Yeah.
And what are you going to do when you leave school?
Don't know.
You don't know. Well, you've got a long time to think about it, anyhow. It's been very nice to talk to you, Melanie.
Thank you, Melanie.
Noel, can I just tell you something? We're very sad, all of my friends and me, that Swatch Shop is finishing.
Oh, well, that's nice of you to say that. Don't be too sad. There'll be a new programme coming back in the autumn.
Yeah, can I just say hello to a few friends?
Yes, go on, why not?
I'd
Go
like
mad.
to say hello to my sister, Lisa Eagle, and to my brother, and to my sister's best friend, whose birthday is today, Rachel.
Right. OK, thank you very much for the call. And thanks for the comments. Bye-bye. David Gardner's on the line. Hello, David.
Hello.
What's your question?
I'd like to ask Penelope, did she want to be an actor when she was little?
Yes, I did, from the age of 5. Hello, David. Yes, I did, from the time I was 5. Apparently, I was in my bath one night, and I said to my mother that when I grew up, I either wanted to be an actress or a nun. And she said nuns couldn't wear pretty clothes, so I decided on being an actress from that moment, and I never ever thought of doing anything else.
Yeah.
Interesting theological point.
Yes, it is.
Is that all you wanted to ask?
Yeah.
OK, thank you very much for the call. A goodie bag will be going to you for getting through on this last programme. Thank you. We've got Emma Mummery. Hello, Emma.
Hello.
Hi, you're through to Penny.
Hello, Penelope.
Hello, Emma.
I wanted to ask you, what's the name of the mansion you filmed To the Manor Born in?
It's a place called Cricket St Thomas, which is down in Somerset.
Beautiful.
Where we did all the outside shots. All the inside things that you would have seen, the rooms and things, were all done up here in the centre. But it's down in Somerset. It's a wildlife park down there.
All right.
All right.
You stunned her. Thank you very much indeed. Sarah Compton is next. Hello, Sarah.
Hello, Penelope.
Hello, Sarah.
Who would you like to meet most in the world that you haven't met yet?
Gosh, I can't think. Isn't that a difficult question? I've always been a great fan of Frank Sinatra. So I think I'd probably like to meet him and hear him sing to me. Who do you want to meet?
Yes, throw it back. It's an
yes,
awkward
who do you
question.
want to meet?
Robert Redford.
Robert Redford. Oh, that's quite a good idea too.
All right, thank you very much for the call. We're getting through them. Tracy Sheehan. Hello, Tracy.
Hello. I'd like to ask, would you ever like to play a Cockney character?
I have done, in fact, Tracy. Yes, a long time ago. Not on the television. Yes, indeed, I did on the television when I was in Dixon of Dock Green, which was a programme I think probably
You
before
were
you
in
were
Dixon of Dock Green?
I just did one episode.
Oh, I thought
yes,
you meant
no,
you stood there by the lamp and went evening all.
No, sadly not.
I thought that was
no.
one of the big secrets of television was out.
No, I didn't do that, sadly. No, I was a Cockney librarian. So I have played the odd Cockney character, but not for a wee while, I must admit.
Give us a burst, come on.
Well, give you a burst of Cockney?
Yeah.
Or even in all, you know, I don't know what to say.
Your book's overdue.
Could you say hello to my niece, Karen Spratt?
Well, I think...
Karen?
I think you've just done it yourself.
Yes, hello. Hello, and nice to talk to you.
Thanks very much. There'll be a goodie bag on its way to you. Thank you. Louise Holmes. Hello, Louise.
Hello.
We've had Russell Hall. We've now got Louise Holmes. And what's your question?
Penelope.
Yes?
What was your most funniest moment whilst recording To the Manor Born?
Oh, heavens. Gosh, I suppose when I was driving the horse. The horse was quite fun. I can't think... well, Peter, I'm sure he won't mind, when Peter Bowles almost fell off. I had to smack the horse and it had to run away. And I couldn't do it very well, so someone else did it, and Peter almost fell off, and I caught his hat. And he looked very funny indeed.
OK.
OK?
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Tony Jacobs is next. Hello, Tony.
Hello?
Hello, greetings to you. Thank you for phoning Swap Shop. What's your question?
Penelope, do you prefer being a comedy actress, as in The Manor Born, or would you like to be a serious actress? Or would you prefer that?
Well, you see, all acting is the same, really. I just think comedy is more difficult. So if I can go on doing comedy well, I shall, you know, it's nice. It's nice to get the laughs. I enjoy that very much. It's more difficult, I think, to play comedy than it is to play ordinary plays, because you need, so many more things going for you. Also good scripts. So if I could work on another series as good as Manor Born, I'd be very happy.
I enjoyed The Manor Born very much.
Oh, good.
No.
Yes.
This is the 11th time I've spoken to you on Swap Shop.
11th?
11th.
Well, that must be some sort of record. Most of the nation says that they can never get through, and you've managed 11 times.
11
It's Tony
times.
blocking the line.
I've got them all on either tape or videotape.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, splendid. Oh, well, you're a real Swap Shop fanatic. Well, we
And
sent...
I've entered for like 55 competitions and never got anywhere.
Well, it serves you right for getting through on the phone so much. Well, we're sending you a goodie bag anyway to mark the fact that you were on the phones for the 11th time.
11th, yeah, thank you very much.
Thank
I've
you.
enjoyed the series very much, and I'm very upset it's going.
Oh, that's kind of you to say. Thank you very much
Okay,
indeed.
thank you very much. Bye.
Bye-bye. Are there any more calls? My little machine's gone blank. Are we setting up something in a while?
Hello?
Hello, is there somebody there? Hello?
There are some more coming. Yeah.
France Cott, it says here. It must be Francis.
Yeah.
Hello, Francis. How are you?
It's France.
It's France?
Yeah.
As in the country?
Mm-hmm.
I think you're our first France. I don't think I've ever in 6 years on Swap Shop come across a France. What an unusual name.
Yeah.
And what's your question for Penelope?
I'd like to know, other than Penny, have you got any other nicknames?
Sorry, I didn't hear the beginning of that, did you?
Any other nicknames?
No. Penny and Pen. No. I used to be called, when I was at Stratford, I did a season at Stratford, and one of the actors there called me Panethea. But I can't think where that came from.
Oh.
Panethea.
That's a little Panethea, really.
Yeah, it is rather, yes.
And at school, what did your teachers call you?
Well, when I was bad, they called me Penelope. But when I was being all right, they'd call me Penny.
It's a lovely name for that, isn't it? Penelope?
Yes, you know, I knew I'd done
down.
wrong. Yeah. That's right.
Yes, it's super. What nationality are you, France?
I'm French.
You are French?
Yeah.
But where are you now?
I'm in England.
You're in England. You're not ringing us from northern France, where the programme is seen. All right, it's nice to talk to you. Thank you very much for calling us.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Tanya Sims. Hello, Tanya.
Hello.
Hi. You're through to Penelope.
Hello. In one of your programs, you were chased by a bull in a field. Were you really in the field with the bull?
We weren't as close as we looked. No. But I tell you who was in the field with the bull, and that was our cameraman, Alec, who had to be in the field with the bull on his own with a camera on his shoulder. So I think it was quite scary for him. No, what they did was Alec photographed the bull, and then they put Angie Thorne and me in the field, and we had to run and pretend we were being chased by the bull. I'm not quite brave enough for that. And it was on the first day of filming, so I think they thought if anything happened to us, we wouldn't get through the work. But the bull was, in fact, very docile. He was a nice guy.
Thank you very much for the question.
Can I have your autograph, please?
Yes, of course.
Go on, we'll organise that for you. Natasha is next. Hello, Natasha.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Penelope, I'd just like to ask, if you want to go ahead with an acting career, is it advisable to go to stage school?
I think so. I think the thing is what they can teach you at stage school is they can teach you voice and movement, which is very important. No one can really teach you to act. You only learn how to act by doing it. Yeah. But you can learn a lot of the good theories, like voice, and your voice is very, very important, especially if you're in the theatre in a run. It's, I think, very important to have voice training.
Thank you very much.
Just before you go, is this because you want to actually take up a career?
Well, I was thinking about it.
How old are you? How old are you?
Huh? I'm 14.
So you're still at school, but you might well take it up.
Yeah, well, hope so.
All right, well,
good luck to you.
Yes, good luck if you do. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Bye. Oh, this sounds like a meal. It's Carlo Tartarelli. I'll have mine with a mixed salad, thank you. Carlo, hello.
Hello?
I shouldn't be so rude. Noel's a pretty silly name. Hello, Carlo. What's your question?
To Penelope.
Yes?
Did you enjoy working with Peter Bowles onto the Manor Board?
Oh, yes, very much. We had lots of giggles, as I said earlier on, the funny thing when he fell off the horse. Yes, it was a marvellous cast, lots of lovely people. I enjoyed it very much
I was
indeed.
so relieved when you got married in the end.
Wasn't it nice?
Yeah.
Yes, I was too.
I was all mushy about that. I thought it was lovely.
Lovely, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was a good ending.
Yes, excellent.
And which series did you like making the best?
What, you mean which of the three of the Manor Born series?
No, which three programmes? Any programme? Yes.
Well, we did enjoy the bull one a lot because Angela and I laughed an awful lot at that. And I did enjoy. Did you see the one when I was driving a pony and trap? That was wonderful. I loved doing that. That was smashing. But they were all such fun. And the last one, although it was very sad, was lovely to do, wearing the gorgeous clothes.
Okay, thank you. And can I have your autograph, please?
Yes, of course.
We'll organise that for you, Carlo. Thanks for the call.
Okay, thank you now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Patrick O'Driscoll. Hello, Patrick.
Hello?
Hello.
Penelope?
Yes, hello, Patrick.
If you weren't an actress, what would you be?
I don't know. I think I'd probably be a gardener, especially on a day like today. I do find gardening very, very interesting. And the only thing, you know, when I drove out to come up here today, I thought, gosh, I could have been in my garden. It's much nicer to be talking to you. But I do enjoy gardening a lot.
We put some plants around to make you feel at
there
home.
they are. Yes, they've
We've got some daffodils up behind you as well.
Favourite flowers? Oh, yes, they are. They're
Yes,
lovely.
isn't that clever? Thank you very much for the question.
Hello?
Yes?
Could you give away to my mum?
Certainly. What's her name?
Maureen.
Oh, I've got to stop doing that. I was doing that at the beginning. Hello. How do you... It's difficult waving sitting down. Cheers to Maureen. Well, that's it. Congratulations, actually, to the phone people, because that's amazing to set up that number of calls
Wasn't
so
it
quickly.
wonderful? Yeah.
We're going to have a swap in just a moment, but for all those people who, like me, missed To the Manor Born like mad, we've got a lovely clip here of when you were with the Girl Guides. Here's a clip from last year's To the Manor Born.
Now, if you happen happen to find yourself in the desert, you'll need a piece of cotton and a safety gun for boiling an egg.
Mrs. Forbes Hamilton, I really must protest.
Well, now, what's the matter, Rector?
Your guides have sabotaged our raft.
Why should they want to do that?
Because they never miss an opportunity to upset my scouts. Just look what they've done.
It's rather odd. I did warn you, Rector.
Warn me?
Well, I told you that frapping was no good.
This has nothing to do with the frapping. Somebody removed the main joists.
Well, it wasn't the guides. It's obviously a rival scout group.
Yes, I doubt that, Mrs. Forbes Hamilton. Those are our joists down there.
Oh, no, Rector. Those are just two poles we found lying around to make a stretcher. Didn't we, Deborah? Deborah?
I thought as much. Sabotage.
Oh, you're very quick to condemn, Rector. I'm sure Deborah acted in all innocence.
Yes, I doubt that, Mrs. Forbes Hamilton. I've had trouble with her in my confirmation class.
Well, perhaps we'd all better give a hand. Now, come along, girls. You may have a chance to be with your first aid. Be careful of the stretcher.
I insist that those joists are returned to us, Mrs. Forbes Hamilton.
Very well, Rector. Marjorie, let the Rector have his joists, will you? Not that I think your shipwreck was anything to do with us. That raft is a thoroughly botched job.
How was that done?
It was wonderful, wasn't it? It's the BBC effects chaps who are marvellous. It was all wired up inside, and when I slammed the door, he pulled a lever and it collapsed. And it's a one-take shot.
It is. It would have taken weeks to rebuild that, and it did all work first time.
It worked,
obviously.
yes, just like that.
Marvellous.
Wonderful.
Oh, it does seem a lot of fun. I envy you when you get to act in things like that. It must be an awful lot of fun. A swap, please. In fact, the last star swap on the programme.
How super. Well, I hope I've risen to the occasion. There is a record of To the Manor Born, some of the episodes for it, a photograph, and this, which a dear lady who's a friend of my husband and I's makes very pretty pottery called Patricia Ford, and I asked her to make these little manors for everybody in the cast. And I gave them all, and there's one left over.
Oh,
and on the back it says Manor Born, 1979-81.
Lovely.
And there it is.
Oh, Penny, thank you very much indeed. A nice personal swap there. So you can have your own manor now. What we need really is a question.
Well, the question is, who is the president of the Girl Guides Association?
Problem is, I don't know, and I wanted that. I shall look it up. Swap Shop, BBC TV, London W12 8QT. Right, thanks again for coming along. What are you off to do once you finish your current run?
Then I'm going to do a play for the BBC here. That I start at the end of July. I've got another play to do. I'm going to do Captain Brassbound's Conversion by Shaw, which I start rehearsing in May, and I'll be doing those in repertoire with Hobson's Choice till the end of July.
Do you have a good memory? Are you able to really get to grip with it?
I hope so,
Because I imagine the fear must be that you're doing one production, you suddenly remember lines from something else.
No, you never do that. That's only ever happened to me once, and that was in Norman Conquest, because they were 3 plays, but all about the same situation.
Yeah.
But when you're doing, you see, Hobson's Choice is by Harrow Brighouse, and I'm speaking with a Lancashire accent. And then Captain Brassbound is by George Bernard Shaw.
Yeah.
Which is a totally different way of talking.
Right. Oh, well, thank you once again, not just for coming on today, but for the other appearances that you've made for us.
I've enjoyed them all.
Continued success in your career. Thank you for an absolutely super swap. Penny Keith, thank you very much indeed. And now we go to Olivia Newton-John and a nice piece of pop foil. That's Olivia Newton-John, of course. As we rapidly run out of time on this last swap show, I must say thank you very much indeed. Someone who's going to have to remain anonymous for sending this to me. It's beautifully made, and unfortunately I haven't got the bit of paper that says who it's from. I think it's from SH at the bottom. Noel Evans, John, Maggie, Keith, Lamb, Posh Paws. Given with thanks. That's rather nice. Thank you very much indeed. We'll put it with the rest of our souvenirs. Thank you for all the lovely pictures and cards and things that have been sent in. Here's a rather nice one, which is complete with the lamb at the bottom of it. And there's the sort of, the balloon going away and goodbye sentiments. I like this picture, and once again, I'm afraid this one is going to have to remain anonymous. Hopefully somebody watching the programme now has looked at that and said, oh, he's holding up my one. There it is. And I've had a letter here. I hope I'm going to make somebody very happy indeed, from Karen Duffin. And Karen is in Hollywood, not that one, the one over in Northern Ireland. She says, when I was watching your programme last week, I noticed you had 2 different clocks. I don't like them, and I'd rather have the other one. Could you change it just for the 1 week and say hello to my teacher and all the pupils in St Patrick's School? Well, what I'm going to do, Karen, is we've got the clock off the wall. Here's a...
You was going over to the wall. The camera once swung round there.
Oh, you went looking for the clock, did you? Well, we got the clock here. It was once described as having sort of things. What are those marshmallows stuck all the way around the outside of it? It's got a little bit. Look, that's how tatty television is behind the scenes. And it's complete with a battery. I'll send that off to you, Karen, and you'll also get a goodie bag as well. I've been asked all sorts of questions on the programme about the whole series and various high spots, and I wrote some things down here. I think it's worth remembering that when we started this programme 6 years ago, in fact, it was meant to run for just 6 weeks or so, and indeed Keith and I had never met before the programme actually went on the air. And we started off something that's become quite widespread in television, but we actually started involving cameramen and things. And I fondly remember a story that one of the cameramen told me that after the third swap shop, where all the cameramen were encouraged to join in and laugh and whatever, he had been on Panorama the next Monday night, and he got into terrible trouble because somebody somebody said something and he burst out laughing. I thought that was a nice one. Also, you might remember a thing we did called the Haunted Bicycle, where we went out and about filming, and I've got lovely memory of going over Barnes Common dressed as a burglar with the complete thing, the spotty, the stripes and the mask, and with some diamonds, some mock jewellery hanging out of the saddlebag of this bicycle, and being flagged down by a nice lady in a car who said, "Excuse me, sonny, but there's some things falling out of your saddlebag." And there's me as a total burglar. Fond memories of Angela Rippon's head, the lovely little boy who rang up and said, "I want to see the back of Angela Rippon because I've only ever seen the front." And she turned round. I remember Delia with her handbag under the studio sink so that when I pulled out the chain inadvertently from the sink, instead of the water going in a bucket, it all went in her handbag. So apologies to Delia. We could tell you about a load more things. The one thing I must admit I'm going to miss is loads and loads of kids up and down the street saying, "Oh, look, Mum, it's the swap shop man." I've got one swap on the programme, and I'm going to throw everything in together. One pullover that's only been worn on one occasion for a photo session. I've got here an anorak, which I've never, ever worn. It's got my name on it. I've also got this shirt, which I must say, my fashion taste has improved. That was worn on the front page of this edition of the Radio Times. And what I'd like to know for my question is, a very famous photographer took that picture, and I'd like to know who is that photographer. On a postcard, please, the Swap Shop, BBC TV London, W128QT. I'll also send to you the 100th script Swap Shop and the very first script. We've had a marvellous time to sing us out from the Swap Shop series. Richard Stilgo is with us.
The very first time there was Swap Shop, nearly 4 million phone calls ago, I thought I'll write into the Swap Shop top 10. I have something they'll jump at, I know. So this great bear I offered and said that I want Space Invaders. No one was amused. So next week I said Lego or modelling clay. I got offered some chewing gum, used. For 146 programmes, I've been trying to get rid of this bear. Each week I come here to see what I've got, and each week I find him still there. For 17 days, 14 hours, and 24 minutes on air. While people rang up and swapped trannies for grannies, nobody would look at my bear. Some weeks he'd go out on the road show and stand next to Keith on the sand. But that soon had to stop. He assaulted a cop and stole money from 3 of the band. He sent Barry Tuck a rude letter, then insulted Penelope Keith. He ate Delia's first course, laughed out loud at brown sauce, and went for Volvo and lamb with his teeth. So the Beeb said, we'll close down the Swap Shop and we'll put the whole cast on the dole. So hold it right there, we will swap your old bear, we will keep him and you can have Noel. And that is exactly what's happened. They said Swap Shop and Noel have to go, while the bear joins the clique and begins work next week. Introducing the Parkinson Show.
Oh, Matt, a cake. What's that?
That's for you. Maggie, John and I have nicked something off the set, and it's yours.
Splendid. A big, big thank you to all of you who've been watching us for the last 6 years. Thank you very much indeed. A personal thank you from me to all the names you're about to see. from the Swap Shop team, goodbye. We all went.
Hope you're happy and
Nice song, Richard. Thank you very much. Can we redo it now from the top? From the top again.
Well, Noel Edmonds hasn't gone too far away.